"Pick it up, old man, or I'll slap you again." The biker's voice boomed through the diner, dripping with arrogance as he dangled the veteran's army cap just out of reach. The frail, 88-year-old man, his face bruised and his coffee spilled across the table, raised a trembling hand but couldn't meet his eyes. The diner had fallen into a suffocating silence. No one dared move. Before we move further into this story, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear. Let's dive in. The biker slammed the cap down on the counter, laughing cruelly. "What's the matter? Can't even defend yourself? Should have stayed home instead of pretending to be a hero." His leather vest clinked with patches, his fists scarred from too many fights. He fed off the humiliation in the veteran's eyes like a vulture circling its prey. Across the booth, an elderly woman gasped, clutching her chest. She whispered, "Please, just stop." But her voice was drowned beneath the biker's laughter. The veteran sat frozen, his honor shredded, his dignity torn in front of strangers. And then, just 15 minutes later, the diner door creaked open. Boots struck the tile floor with sharp precision. The room shifted instantly as an army officer in uniform stepped inside, dust still on his shoulders from travel. He scanned the diner casually until his eyes locked on his father's bloodied face. The son froze. For a moment, his breath caught in his chest. His mind replayed the years of sacrifice, his father teaching him discipline, saluting proudly at his graduation, whispering on deployment calls, "Make me proud, son." And now here he was, beaten and humiliated in the same country he had once defended. The biker leaned back in the booth, chewing his gum, clearly enjoying the scene. He hadn't noticed the officer yet. "Some war hero," he mocked, tossing the cap onto the floor again. "Can't even keep his hat on his head." The veteran reached slowly for it, his hand shaking, but before his fingers could touch it, a polished black boot stopped the cap from sliding further. The biker looked up. His smirk faltered. Standing there was the officer, broad-shouldered, medals pinned to his chest, eyes burning with restrained fury. He bent down, picked up the army cap with reverence, and placed it gently into his father's trembling hands. "You don't bow to anyone," he whispered. The diner fell silent again, but this silence was different. It pulsed with tension, every pair of eyes shifting between the biker and the soldier. The officer straightened, turning slowly toward the biker. "Which hand did you use?" His voice was calm, but there was a storm beneath it. The biker forced a chuckle, trying to shake off the fear creeping in. "What are you going to do, soldier boy? I'm not scared of some shiny badge." He stood, puffing out his chest, towering over the older man, but barely eye-level with the oath. "Officer, answer the question." The officer's jaw clenched. The biker raised his right hand mockingly, fingers spread wide. "This one. Why? You gonna write me a ticket?" The officer's stare hardened. In one swift motion, he gripped the biker's wrist, twisting it down with military precision. The biker cried out, dropping to one knee as the officer pinned him effortlessly against the counter. Gasps filled the diner. The veteran's wife covered her mouth, tears streaming down her cheeks. "You think it makes you a man to hit someone who spent his life defending this country?" the officer thundered. "This man endured more in one day of combat than you ever will in your entire life, and yet you think you can humiliate him in front of strangers? You're not a man. You're a coward." The biker writhed, but the officer's grip was iron. "You're lucky," he growled, "because if my father weren't sitting here, I'd teach you what respect really feels like." With one final twist, he shoved the biker away. The man stumbled back, crashing into a table, his bravado stripped as quickly as his balance. The officer turned to his father, his voice softening instantly. "Dad, I'm here now. No one will ever disrespect you again." The veteran's eyes filled with tears, not from pain, but from pride. His wrinkled hand squeezed the cap, clutching it to his chest like a medal. "I knew you'd walk in," he whispered, voice cracking. "I just didn't know it'd be today." The diner erupted. Customers stood and clapped, their applause echoing through the chrome and glass. Even the waitress, who had hidden in the corner moments before, now stepped forward with tears in her eyes. The old veteran didn't just have his son, he had the respect of every soul in that room. The biker slunk out the door, his shadow shrinking with every step. leaving behind the weight of his shame. The officer knelt beside his father, straightening the old man's collar, brushing the coffee stains from his sweater. "You taught me how to stand tall," he said softly. "Now it's my turn to make sure no one ever makes you bow your head." The veteran smiled weakly, his dignity restored, and for the first time in a long time he felt young again, because his son had carried his honor forward just as he always hoped he would. Sometimes the strongest victories don't happen on the battlefield. They happen in diners, in living rooms, in everyday places where respect is tested, and love wins. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know how you feel in the comments.